All right, let's see if it works. We are live on YouTube, we are live on X. On LinkedIn I always have issues, but we are live. All right, also on LinkedIn. Let's see if it works. Just give me a few minutes to properly manage the settings. Do I have a LinkedIn like URL or something like that? More, view event. Share. So theoretically LinkedIn should start in a minute. Sorry about that. So this is the LinkedIn event. We should be live. Do I need to go live? Live studio. LinkedIn is really difficult to manage in terms of streaming. Save output. Okay. Sorry about why it's not working LinkedIn. It's such a bad platform to stream. Why it's not working LinkedIn? Okay. It's such a bad platform to stream. Why it's not working LinkedIn? Okay. Okay, I think we are live everywhere. Nice. So, what I want to do today is to keep working on European Asylum data. As you might know, in the first episode, we have analyzed the decisions taken by European countries regarding asylum applicants. And the decision is basically divided in approbation or rejection. Then we took a step back and we analyzed the total asylum arrivals. This has given me the possibility to create this funnel. Basically, on top of 11 million arrivals in the last 10 years, around 42% of these arrivals have received a decision. We are talking about 4.7 million people. $1.3 million people have been approved. So we know for sure that around 60% of the arrival didn't receive any decision. And here the question might be, what happens to those people? Where do they go? What do they do in the meantime while waiting for actually a decision? So I'm not sure what are the answers. Nevertheless, what I want to do today is to add an additional step. I want to understand better how the main European countries have managed this asylum application wave in the last 10 years at least. So, briefly, I analyzed, I have data about the total asylum arrivals. I have the data about the total asylum decisions. Now I want to make an overview country by country. Let's take a screenshot of this. And also about this. Nice. What are, in your opinion, the best metrics I could consider to properly understand how different countries in Europe manage their asylum arrivals and decisions? Okay, something I can do is maybe also share I'm sharing the link also on so below is a clean country by country matrix set that lets you compare. Okay. I like it. Intake pressure. So first thing we can add countries comparison. So let me put this one here. Country comparison. So what is doing ChatGPT is dividing by intake pressure, processing capacity, selectivity policy strictness. These are how restrictive the system is. Outcome normalization, demographic load, wow, origin sensitivity index. Should the dashboard, in your opinion, show all the countries at once for each metric, or should we add filters? Advantage of the first is a clear and quick comparison. Advantage of the second is a dashboard easier to manage. All countries, no filters. Yes, I agree. Wow, I absolutely agree. So we can start. Now, what I need to understand is, should I consider all the countries, or should I focus on the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because of course, considering all European countries is not really feasible. I would exclude United Kingdom because we don't have data after Brexit. Let's start with Germany. Germany, arrivals per 1 million inhabitants. We call this section heading intake pressure. Then what we can do maybe is to add a section called Germany, something like this. It's just an example. Everything will change. Just give me 1 second. I need to check. So let's do also like this. Intake pressure, and then we explain. We can do something like this. Germany arrivals per 1 million inhabitants. And this is something I already calculated here. It's a similar KPI. This was approbation per million inhabitants. I need to create something similar for arrivals for 1 million inhabitants. So what we can do is actually take as an example this query. Using this query as example, as you can see, we calculate the ratio on top of decisions. We have to do the same on top of arrivals. And the table related to arrivals is this one. Here the table and columns you can use for the arrivals. Create a query. What I'm trying to understand is how the heck I have developed this. Alright, there is a model underneath. Makes much more sense. Let's see. I am using PostgreSQL. Come on. Nothing works fine this morning. Okay, it's coming. Let's see. Okay, so we have a subquery called arrivals, which takes for each country, for each year, for each country, the total amount of arrivals, which is good. Then we have the population, and then of course it does the join. I really don't like how ChatGPT indents my SQL code, so I'm going to quickly try to fix it. This one is good, this one is not good. All right. Now we have arrivals per 1 million inhabitants. So since this query is extremely valuable as it is, I want to save it. I want to save it at the bottom of this chart, of this dashboard. So let's give it a pivot table style, beautiful, and also we can add the conditional formatting, color range. Yeah, what I need to understand if I need to take this KPI, this this intake pressure as overall average or the last few years. I will think about it. Yes. Okay, now I'm ready to add country, Germany. What the heck is happening in database? Country is Germany, right? Now, what I can do here is to express. Let's do something. Since I want to keep a focus on this, I create a new tab, I duplicate this tab, about the intake pressure. Should I express as overall average or take only the last few 3-5 years and take the average? Mostly because countries have changed their policies in the last years. So we can express it mm, as average I cannot limit data here. Something I can do is definitely round. Okay, let's take it globally. Maybe instead of writing Germany, I can write the here. Then we have arrival as percentage of AU total. Arrivals as percentage of AU total. To do this, do I need again SQL? Yes. Now, let's develop. Theoretically, it should be able to do it automatically. Let's have a look. Maybe here I should specify that I'm taking the last 10 years. Okay, here is dividing it by year, something that I'm not really interested. Let's focus on the total, not on the division by year. Okay. Now, where should I put this one? Quattro, cinque, uno, due, exactly. Because this one is definitely an interesting KPI. Now, what I can do is to take this, explore result, filter, country is Germany. Visualization, number, percent, of course it doesn't like. Let's call it like this. I save, and now I go down and I remove this one times 100. So theoretically now if I refresh, perfect. Something I would like to do is the fact that here percent 0. Now maybe we need one decimal. Yeah. Or even 2. Now who cares? Because I'm anyway analyzing only the biggest countries. All right. Now, arrivals growth rate. Let's work on I'm thinking that I can do something like this. So I create let's call it like main tables, even though I don't like so much this name. And I want to move all this stuff underneath. All right. Now what I can do is to filter by country is Germany. Let's have a look. And the thing is, how can I express that metric as a single number? To allow a immediate comparison between countries. I'm not speaking so much because I'm kind of focused. Let's remove this times 100 and let's apply this one as percent. Wonderful. And we are going to call it recent arrival growth D. So this one is the intake. Now, I think it makes more sense if we move to the next section, the processing capacity. So let me do something. Temp. Let me move all this crap into the temp, so it doesn't bother me when while I'm developing the dashboard. In terms of styling, I will decide later how to properly style this stuff. Middle. Now, processing capacity. We know that processing capacity, we want to measure these three metrics. decision rate. Decision rate. Right. Theoretically, I can do like this. I can move. So basically what I'm doing is I want to avoid to have too many tables flying around. So I'm going to move to trash this one. I'm doing this because it will be so complex and chaotic um, to manage all these tables. So I save here. I can move to trash this one. Then I will do the same for I will do the same with this one. I will do the same with this one, where geo equals Germany. EU total theoretically could already work. Because I can do sum, no if sum 100%, no, this is not what I was expecting. Right. Of course. Wait, I'm doing a mistake. I need to do like this and on. a.country equals Germany. Perfect. Nice. Here I call this T. I can move to trash this one. And finally, I can move this one into country comparison. Visualization, number, save. When you develop a dashboard, the least things you have to manage, the better. Perfect. And now the last one. Here, time period is important while geo is Germany. Right? Theoretically, country does not exist. Country does not exist. Country does not exist, so should work. Country, where is the country? Partition by theoretically I can simply delete yes, and I can order by year dash limit 1. Exactly. I can say that this one is our percentage with 0 decimal places. I can change the visualization to number. Oops. I can change the visualization to number showing this. The perfect. Obviously, this one is deprecated. I can delete it, and I can move this beauty here. Country comparison. Okay, now we are back into the game. Now it's interesting because I can, let's take for example, cannot jump. Let's take, for example, the second country, which is France. I can simply do this. I can add France, 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 and then I can simply do fr, fr, fr. I can duplicate this one becomes France, vive la France. So we can see that France is taking the 13% of the overall European capacity. 2,000 arrivals each 1 million inhabitants, so more than half less than Germany. But the growth rate in the last 3 years is identical to Germany, which is quite interesting. At this point, I'm extremely curious about Italy, so let's do it. Italy. Up, up, up. Italy. Italy, Italy, Italy. Iti. Iti. Country comparison. Save, save, save. Save, save, save. I hope nobody of you have sickness because I jump. This one doesn't seem correct. 43% is clearly wrong. I'm just wondering if this is not possible. No, wait, I'm okay. 43%. Wow. This is a massive number. arrival grow last 3 years. Let's call it like this, which is more, which is easier to understand. Wow, 43% grow is a lot. Then we have Spain. Other country quite interesting. Spain. Well, let me share the stream also on WhatsApp, so maybe I can get some free like. One second. Copy a link. Uh, maybe I can also. Okay. So we are doing Spain. Save. Spain is yes. 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 Save. I made a mistake. Country comparison. I go to country comparison, and here we have Spain. How interesting it is that countries share similar growth. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it's a slow process. I'm not happy because this could become a single query. Uh, way easier to manage. So let's do something like this. Otherwise, I'm way too slow. Take these 3 queries. and aggregate them in a single query. I want an output like the one in the screenshot. Take these countries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dai, till no, otherwise it's too slow and look how much stuff I have to manage. This is not the way to go. We should be almost there, right? Let's see. Incredible. I just want to make the columns arrival. Make the columns title easy to understand to whoever see that table. So also for no data people, names should be super easy to understand. Okay, I kind of like it. Share of you arrivals. We call it like this, arrivals as arrivals per million people. Wonderful. Finally, arrival trend, arrivals trend last 3 years. I think I can avoid adding percentage. Let's see. Whoosh. Remove this because I do it directly on here. Display percent number of decimal 0. Wonderful. Arrival trend last 3 years. Percent. Okay. Now something I can do is country comparison. Country comparison intake pressure. Okay. Okay, let's keep it like this for the moment. What I'm going to do now is to remove all this crap. Completely delete these things. Alright, now I can drastically simplify the dashboard. Look how beautiful. Let's ask something. Can you, in Metabase, I can add on over a description. Can you add a description for those three metrics, please? So I can remove this, I can save. I can can I add a description on a column level? Let's see. I cannot. No, instead I think I can. Column title. Let's check, let's see. In Metabase, can I add a description when I over a table column title? Yes. Open the question. I don't have a description field. Never mind. I don't want to lose too much time on this. Maybe I can add a description here. Something like this. Even though it looks really, really bad. No, Okay, let's try to analyze a bit the data. So we know that Germany takes the biggest chunk of the cake. Then we have France, Italy, Spain, Sweden, Greece, and so on and so forth. So arrivals per million people actually indicate, in my opinion, the pressure that the native population feels. Let me remove United Kingdom because we know that United Kingdom is not, we don't have complete data, let's say. All the countries are interesting, to be honest. Hungary, let's add Poland, let's add Denmark and Ireland, Denmark, Ireland, I would also add Portugal. So definitely Austria and Greece are the ones that are feeling the biggest pressure at the moment. And this is particularly Greece is aligned with my personal experience. I've been to Greece and I spoke with a few people and they kind of shared the pressure they were facing. Germany, not surprisingly, um, Poland and Portugal is extremely low. I'm surprised about Hungary because let's let's have a look at Hungary. So you see how Hungary behaves. Probably the metric about Hungary is still affected by the spike in 2015. So, in my opinion, what we should do will be to filter only the last uh, can you please filter the last 5 years for all the metrics? Maybe I can do it by myself. So metabase upload, we have the time period and dot time period numeric bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2019, I will say. All right. Selected countries, arrival total, right? Application. Also here I can do like this. Population I can also do where p dot time period. That's it, I will say. Okay, this makes much more sense. Intake pressure 2020, 2024, 20, 21, 23, 24, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, quindi 5 years. Let's have a look. Okay. Austria, Iceland, Greece still dominate. Spain has increased a lot. Switzerland, surprisingly. And as expected, Hungary is now extremely low, in line with the news I received from Hungary. And then the trend the last 3 years shows how Sweden has decreased, Ireland has hyper increased. So here we can clearly see how certain countries are kind of pulling the emergency brake, trying to reduce should I include all the countries? Because I don't hide how interesting it will be to see the picture, for example, also for Norway and Finland. Under Switzerland, Norway, Germany, France, Italy, Belgium. Do I have Belgium? Yes. Finland. No, I'm curious to understand if Scandinavian countries are kind of behaving in the same way. Let's also add Baltics countries. Estonia, Latvia, doesn't seem there is Latvia, Bulgaria. At this point we had also Bulgaria. And Romania. Order by right. Wow, Portugal is really conservative from this standpoint. Quite surprisingly, Estonia. Yeah, look the difference between Estonia and Lithuania. Romania says stop. Okay, we have the intake pressure. Do you think we can create a single query to show in the same way we developed this one? Okay, let's have a look if ChatGPT has done some magic for us. Love it. Think that in the past I was writing this all this stuff manually. Okay, there is definitely something wrong because I think that the decision rate cannot exceed 100. Decision application. Hmm. So this number cannot be greater than 100. Let's have a look quickly at the query. So this one is quite clear. Decisions. Yes. So if I duplicate this tab, I can quickly check if something is wrong like this. Oops. Okay. Let's have a look if numbers make sense. So I have Germany 2020. This might be the problem. Germany 2000. Let's take Germany 2020 application 157. 157 is correct. Decision 235. This one is wrong. That's why. I need to clean the data because it's becoming because it's a problem. Total. Editor. Database. Metabase. Decision. This one is the table. Okay, I need two. So and the decision is basically divided in approbation. Okay, I need to work on my terminal because I want to clean this table once for all. So just give me a few seconds. Uh, just give me a few seconds. Um, I need to SSH into the database. So let's do something. Mm, I will show you the monitor too here on, cioè the terminal too here in terminal Ghosty. Oops. Sorry for this chaos. Okay. Now you also see the terminal, but of course, perfect. So just give me a second because I need to do a quick call. Okay guys, I'm back. So, SSH database. Then I take then I take mm, then I connect to the database. Great. Now what I can do is to ask I can ask can you please delete from the table in the column geo all values because it is creating issues to me. Around 42% of this. Right? Wonderful. So now if I go back here and I refresh, I won't see any more distribution. I don't want to see any more strange values. Great. And I will do the same also here because I want only negative and positive decision. Now do the same for the column decision and remove the following values. Now let's do and keep only the following values. All right. Yes. Perfect. Now the only issue is that our dashboard is probably broken now and I need to fix it. Let's have a look. So this one is correct. Oops. Sorry guys. So this dashboard is correct. The one that is broken is this one. Not all of that, but a certain part. Now I can fix one by one. This makes much more sense, this 20%. Come on. I have to fix this one. Editor decision. This like theoretical I can also do like this. Perfect. Decision is positive decision. This one is correct. Then I can fix this one and this one. Let's have a look. Decision is total this one is correct, that this one decision is positive, decision is correct. By year, what's the problem here? Of course, wait, let's do it again. Tac, approval ratio, sum of ops value. Yeah. Also this one, of course, needs to be fixed. Finally, I can check this one, which should be, this should be already correct. Let's have a look. All right. Oh. Country per year. Where is this model? Asylum request by year. Right. Nothing changed, but at least the query is perfect. All right. Good job. Guys, we are good to go. Now, if I finally refresh this one, I should not see anymore those strange values. Which name should I give to this query? Let's start saving it. I will call it like this. Country comparison processing capacity. Okay, let's. How is it possible that Lithuania has a decision rate bigger than 100. How can I call those columns? Those columns to make the meaning crystal clear, so that everybody just looking at the table understand the meaning, also non-technical people. Nice. Let's close this one. So instead of decision rate, we call it case process percentage. Case still waiting percentage, I like it. Unresolved cases. Probably makes sense to order both the macro tables by the same column like this, so that we can easily compare the two. Now, of course, we want to remove this, style, percentage, number of decimal place 0, style, percent, number of. So, let's have a look if the data makes sense. Oof. Yeah, Lithuania is a bit weird. There is something wrong with Lithuania. So, as a really experienced data analyst, what I'm going to do is to remove Lithuania, because I don't want to investigate and lose time investigating such a small country. So we can see how there are countries way more efficient than other one. Not surprisingly, we have Sweden with just a 61%, with 61% of case processed, and then we have countries extremely inefficient like Italy. So here is the question. What are these 300,000 people currently doing in Italy? What are they waiting for? In Germany, it's basically 1 million. Spain is dramatically inefficient. 500,000 people in Spain are waiting an answer about their asylum application. I think we can move on. Selectivity, policy, strictness. Approval rate, rejection rate, which is the difference, no? Approval rate variance by origin country. Okay, this one we are not going to have it because it will change the structure of our dashboard. I want to keep the dashboard in this vertical, easy to understand way. Let's work on but I want a different metric than, so we will have plus a third meaningful metric you decide. All right. Create a query similar to okay, we have our query. Let's have a look. Approval bias versus you. What the heck it is? Can you explain the meaning of I want because the audience is a non-technical audience, so the name of the column in this case extremely matter. But is this the most meaningful metric we can calculate? In the section, let's see what ChatGPT says to us. Okay, let's keep it. How is calculated? Okay, questo, this we can remove, this one we can remove, this becomes a where. Okay, calculate the average European approval rate. Okay, let's keep it like this. Of course we want %0, we want %0, we want %0. And then I can call it in a similar way. Selectivity, let's do it. Ta-da! Okay, let's have a look at the data. Belgium has an extremely strict application process, as you can see. Same for Estonia, not same for Bulgaria, Italy not at all. And then we have Portugal doesn't approve anything. Spain is extremely low, which could also explain why Spain, in my opinion, numbers of Spain are wrong. Switzerland, not surprisingly, is rejecting most of the application. Same for Sweden. Other question, what happens to the people that are rejected? Where do they go? We don't know. And then we have this column, more or less approvals than the EU average. And we can see how there are countries that are more willing to approve applicants. Italy is the first one, Netherlands. So if you are an asylum applicant, it makes sense to apply to those countries which application approved percentage is higher than the average. Like Italy, for example, don't apply to countries with an extremely low application approved percentage, because there is a high probability that your application will be rejected. Let's move on. Then we have outcome normalization. You know that instead of having let's calculate something similar to as we did in this query. So how many approvals for million inhabitants? You see that is stupid. It keeps multiplying per 100, even though I clearly asked to avoid multiplying per 100. Okay, wait. Save changes. Wonderful, let's move on. Outcome normalization. This we have included in the selectivity. Demographic load. Percentage minor, percentage male, 1831st. Family versus single application ratio. So let's ask, in this section, how would you plan to spot let's develop a demographic query showing for each country percentage minus percentage religion Islam I'm hungry. I want to eat. Database, Postgres, Metabase upload. Pop, pop, pop. Sorry. Similar to let's see if it makes correctly in the first shot. Let's have a look, guys. Just we are almost at the end. This is the last chart I'm going to develop. So let's make it correct. Ok, allora, so minors total, I need to understand the distinct values. Right. Female total, I need the sex, distinct value, females. Then we have countries attributes, right? Dominant religion, Islam, so theoretically is correct. Guys, I'll be right back. I need to go to the toilet. So we are developing the demographic load. In order to do so, let's start to save the query. such as demographic load. I like it. Country comparison. Is not number 4 anymore, but simply the number 5, but simply the number 4. And now we can fix the data. So as always, we don't want to have the percentage expressed directly in the query, but we do it using metabase formatting. Percent Now, is this calculated on top of arrivals or decisions? Perfect. I'm trying to understand if those columns are actually the most relevant one. Minors is it's cool because independently if it's female or male, minor represents a clear category, children. Then we have adult females, which is not females adult, but it's simply females. Then we have male, and here I will do adult male, so not in, I will call these adult males. Adult males. The problem is that I make the understanding of this database complex because I need to clarify what is an adult. What if I do simply male? I'm thinking, huh? Yeah, let's make it easier to understand. Males total, uh, males total, when sex. So basically, we remove the distinction by age. I like it. So annoying that it loses the format. Okay, I think we have it. Let's have a look at the data. You know what would be nice to add also a total, a kind of aggregated value, but probably it's too complex to add. So let's ask ChatGPT what what it thinks about our work. One question, but if I save as PDF, does the number selectable or is just here the output of my work? What do you think about it? I'm trying to apply the suggestions by ChatGPT, since this one makes a lot of sense. I think I call it for today, since I'm streaming since almost 3 hours. Quite a long stream. Should I add a comment under the title of each section? Give me some description why the section is important. All right, we are almost there, guys. So something I could do is, instead of having a heading like this, I can do something like this. Then we have the same for the processing capacity. Then we have our third section, which is the selectivity. Let's call it just selectivity. And finally, our last section, the demographic load. Measure the composition so the public link is always the same. I want to add the year in this section, oops, because I want to remove the ear from the table. And most importantly, I want to hide the title from here. Less information, less noise, easier to understand, more minimalist. So overall, a cleaner work. So guys, since I'm extremely hungry and I want to grab something to eat, I think I will call it for today. I'm quite satisfied because with a simple screenshot I can also share this data. I'm wondering if I should remove some countries like Portugal, for example. Okay, guys, it's been a great pleasure streaming for you. My longest stream so far. I'm quite satisfied, and I will try to collect the feedback I receive, and then eventually next Friday I will stream it again. Thank you so much. It was extremely useful for me, and I hope also for you. Then I will try to share this work on the different social media. Personally, I really like this format because it forces me to deeply focus. Being publicly available in this way, it's kind of a responsibility to me. So I need to stay focused, concentrated for many hours, and it's a really interesting exercise. With this said, guys, thanks a lot and have a great weekend. Bye bye.